Called. I got proof. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to you, Miss Fegan. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you want to get out of tired of waiting? Call Fegan. If you tired of waiting and you tired of goddamn J's and shit falling by you, call Fegan. You know what I'm saying? And you from Brazil and you tired and your best friend just squeal, call Nicole. You know what I'm saying? If you from Brazil and your best friend just squeal, call Nicole, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Call Fegan, man. Nah.
You gotta have an edge straight.
Yeah!
Period, fool. Period. I stop.
Yeah.
Welcome back, guys. I trust you've been staying safe. Now, the Young Thug and YSL Rico trial is undoubtedly becoming the wildest trial in hip-hop history. Now, bizarre scenes include moments where Young Thug's song lyrics were presented as evidence in court, through to a point where the dog of the judge, by name Judge Glenville, was also present in the courtroom. And as if all these were not enough, in addition to the charges leveled against the accused, it has now been reported that one of the defense attorneys of the YSL group, by name Nicole Fegan, has now been arrested and charged with charges relating to her being engaged in gang-related activities. Now, this came as another bizarre twist to the whole Young Thug YSL Rico trial. Now, if you don't know Nicole Fegan, you saw her at the beginning of this footage. I dare say, per the research I've done, that records on her indicates that she's currently one of the best around. People have tagged her as the LeBron James of the legal circles, and she's one woman in the legal space who seems to be doing so well for herself. And arguably, others have also indicated that she seems too flamboyant, and sometimes it's as though she's sticking it to the face of the prosecutors when she beats them in court. Now, with such a track record, I'm sure there will be some people who may not be happy with her. But to this current case at hand, she has now been arrested and charged with her being engaged in gang-related activities. So, my research proved that Nicole Fegan was booked and processed, but then I was waiting to find if I could see a mugshot of her. And unfortunately, I couldn't find that because at the time, there has been a cyber attack allegedly on the Fulton County space. So it's a bit difficult for them to have these things out. But then, she was able to post a $40,000 bond. And so it was expected that she would be released from jail not too long after her arrest. And she, by virtue of this, has now had to go for a lawyer. And her lawyer is insisting that she is innocent. But let's get into the details of why she was arrested. So, we are all aware of the Young Thug YSL Rico trial, and the plot has thickened because this is another angle of it, although it's not pertaining directly to those on trial or to the trial that is currently ongoing. But reports indicate that Nicole Fegan, as a defense attorney, is actually standing in defense of one of the members of the so-called YSL group, whose case Nicole Fegan had severed from the currently ongoing Young Thug YSL Rico trial, so that case will be held separately from this one. Now, her arrest came on the 16th of February 2024, and the police charged her of being involved in gang-related activities in Atlanta. So she was arrested by the Atlanta Police Department, and they actually confirmed this arrest. And they indicated that they had taken her to the Fulton County Jail upon her arrest, and the charges of participation in criminal street gang activity and criminal solicitation to commit tampering with evidence had been leveled against her. But the question is, what did she do? Now, Nicole Fegan's charges actually are coming from a 2022 incident, which is like I said, not directly related to the ongoing YSL Rico case. But then, in this particular case, two men were involved in an incident and they seemed to try to avoid the law. But then, it turns out that Nicole Fegan has been discovered to have given one of them a tip, which eventually has led to her arrest. Nicole Fegan is representing Tenquarius Menda, who is facing charges of possession of a telecommunication device by an incarcerated individual and participation in criminal street gang related activity and other RICO associated charges. So his case was what Nicole Fegan had severed from the ongoing Young Thug YSL Rico case. But then, what did she exactly do? Now, per what is out there, it is being alleged that Nicole Fegan had information at a preliminary hearing in court about one person involved in this incident, and she came out of court and called this person, who was not even her client, and told him that there's a warrant out for his arrest, so he should dispose of his mobile phone. And by virtue of this is the basis, allegedly, upon which the Atlanta Police Department actually arrested and charged her with this. Because some are interpreting it as though she was helping this person destroy evidence and sort of evade the law. Now, this is a bit debatable, and the debate has actually been ongoing on social media, where some people are of the view that maybe she was just trying to provide a form of legal advice to this person so as to help the person beat the case. But the point is, this person was not even her client. So why the bother? And another question from this is that to also say that if the person was her client, it would be any less worse per what she did? Now to this, others are also of the view that it doesn't matter whether it was her client or not. The kind of advice she gave seems to suggest that she's actually educating this person on how this person can destroy evidence. And that in itself is a crime. I am no legal expert, but I can tell you that there are interesting days ahead on this. I've heard the views of some people from the police fraternity. I've also heard some views from some analysts from the legal angle. All these are people who are also having discussions and sharing their opinions. But at the end of the day, I believe the best person to decide what her alleged actions are tantamount to would be the court of a competent jurisdiction. And I'm waiting to see that. It is clear that she's not going to represent herself because she has already taken on a lawyer. And I think that is a smart thing to do, because if she had decided to defend herself, I'm sure it might not be to her advantage, because the prosecution may come at her even harder, and maybe, who knows, it could affect certain things that may be looked at. So I think it's important that she has taken on a defense attorney herself. So now, the lawyer has now gotten a lawyer. And that is not to say that she's guilty. Obviously, we all know by now, novice as we are, that everybody is presumed innocent until proven guilty in a competent court of law. So, how are things going to go with this case involving Nicole Fegan? And during my research, I saw that Nicole Fegan seems to be someone who is really determined. From the time she started her practice through to now, she has beat some really incredible cases. She has had commendations from her peers, even in other law firms who have taken over cases that she has handled and are continuing. They go back to look at some of her track record and they actually give testament of the fact that they are impressed with her results. Now, someone was arguing that by virtue of this, it also means that the other side of the argument may not be so enthused, and the other side here being the prosecution, especially with the way she seems to be so flamboyant about what she does. Now, I looked her up on Instagram and I saw that she's very vibrant. Some are saying she's so extravagant and flamboyant, And I saw her rapping to rap music, and I could see this is one woman who really enjoys her life. I think she's married. I'm not sure though. I saw a ring on her finger. I didn't get to know so much about her. But I think that all in all, she seems like someone who is ready to go all out for what she believes in. And I don't know if these charges are going to stick and if this case is going to make it to court. But if it does, then there are going to be interesting days ahead. What about if it does and it gets to court and Nicole Fegan ends up being found guilty? What is going to come of her law career? It will be very sad if it ends up devastating her law career, which seems to have served so many people. I watched audio clips of people even featuring her name in their music just to talk about how she stood by them. People even sharing pictures of degrees and diplomas that they've been able to go back to school and obtain by virtue of the defense that Nicole Fegan put up for them in court and was able to get them off the case, where she has even also cited some examples of someone who had pleaded guilty to a charge. She came in, overturned it, and the person was let go. So these are interesting times, and I'm expecting that the prosecution is also not going to hold back, as they shouldn't, because if the allegations leveled against Nicole Fegan are true, then it means that the prosecution also have to come with full force and ensure that they are also bringing down the hammer of the law and ensuring that justice is done with regards to any other victim related to this case where Nicole Fegan has been accused of being involved in these gang-related activities. What do you think about all this? Share your opinion in the comment section, but there are interesting days ahead. And as always, I'm sure you know that I'm going to follow the case and I'll bring you the updates as and when they are due. Subscribe, turn on post notifications. Thank you for watching. Share your views on our other videos and stay safe out there.